Good morning, Vaqueros. This is DJ Doc V. You're listening to Office Hours with DJ Doc V. Of course, as we start every Friday, that was Emerson, Lake and Palmer. ELP with Fanfare for the Common Man. It is Friday, October 13th, and it's 82 degrees in the beautiful Upper Rio Grande Valley. We're broadcasting from the UTRGV Edinburgh campus in the E-Library building up on the second floor in a little annex that sticks out on the end there, as we do every Friday. I've got some great music picked out for you today, including a double shot of Helmet. And the significance of that is I'm going up on to San Antonio this weekend. I'm going to go see Helmet in concert at Paper Tiger in San Antonio. So I'm really excited about that. This will be, let's see, the fifth time I've seen them live. I know, I love Helmet, a great New York band. We'll talk a little bit more about them, about their new release, and their upcoming European tour. They've got just a couple dates in the United States left. Then they're heading over to Europe to do a few shows in the Netherlands and Denmark. So exciting time for the band there. Looks like we're finally getting a little bit of reprieve on the weather. You can expect 80 degrees or in the 80s the next few days, which is really nice. We'll talk more about the weather later. And then another special poem picked out from the 2023 Gallery magazine, another great and fine production from UTRGV Student Media. So that'll come up at 50 minutes after the hour. And as we do every week, we'll do This Day in History at the bottom of the hour. So for now, let's get back to the music. Here's a little Tupac with California Love. Well, thanks, Common. Appreciate that little shout out for Vaquero Radio. Good morning, Vaqueros. DJ Doc V with you at 10:18 on Friday the 13th. We got any superstitious folks out there? You worried about Friday the 13th? I don't know. I'm not really that worried. Thanks for tuning in. You heard, let's see, what did you hear? You just heard Atmosphere from the 89.3, the current live volume 2. That was an in-studio, that Atmosphere, which is they're from Minnesota anyway. So they did a great in-studio performance with the current, super duper public radio station that plays progressive music and new artists and stuff like that. Before that, it was A Tribe Called Quest with Midnight, and we started off that set with Tupac and California Love. We've got a great show put together for you today. A last-minute edition.
What?
No, it's all good because my buddy out on the East Coast, Chef Bill. He's a chef. He's been on the TV. He teaches and teaches culinary stuff. Like a Votech. Really great man. Friend of mine from high school. Can you believe that?
A shout out.
I know. Shout out to Chef Bill. Thanks for listening this morning, Bill. And a special one going out to Bill. One of the things that we share in common is a love for the band Rush. And so from their second album, here's Rush with Anthem, only on Vaquero Radio. That's Rage Against the Machine from the Battle of Los Angeles LP with Maria. Before that, you heard The Clash with Rudy Can't Fail, and we started off that set with Rush, a special dedication going out to my buddy Chef Will out on the East Coast this morning. We were sending messages a little bit back and forth, talking about the references in that song, and I guess Rush the band and the lyricist Neil Peart. You took some heat from some of the lyrics in the early part of their career together, suggesting that they were, some kind of right-wing group or something, right? They're not. They certainly had some interest in libertarian ideology, but I mean the lyrics in Anthem. Here's from one of the lyrics here. Live for yourself. There's no one else more worth living for. Begging hands and bleeding hearts. There's a little reference to your San Francisco liberals, I guess. Will only cry out for more. And then the next bridge, well, I know they've always told you selfishness was wrong, yet it was for me, not you, I came to write this song. So, that's a nice little self-reflection there on the part of Neil Peart. Lost him way too young. And one of his memoirs where he talked about, he went on a motorcycle ride across Canada, and wrote a memoir after having some really significant losses in his own life. So doing some self-reflection and taking some time on the road to be with himself. So we miss him. One of the greatest drummers of all time, if not the greatest drummer of all time. I'll go out on a limb and say that. That's not very controversial, to be honest with you. But we miss him. We lost him too young. Neil Peart and Rush off their second record, the first record they did with that drummer and lyricist, back in, let's see, when was that? Oh, goodness, 1975. Mercury Records, boy. And, man, one of the things when I was a kid is people would get album covers painted on the back of their denim jackets. And I remember seeing a guy that had the Fly By Night with the owl on the back of the jacket. Just, oof. Really, really cool. Anyway, as we do every week, we do a little bit of This Day in History. Here's another music reference for you. This one from 1975. Singer Charlie Rich protests John Denver's big win at the Country Music Awards. In a 35-year career that ran from the rockabilly genius of Lonely Weekends in 1960 to the countrypolitan splendor of Behind Closed Doors in 1973, the versatile and soulful Charlie Rich earned 11 number one hits on the country charts and one crossover smash with the number one pop hit, The Most Beautiful Girl. That was 1973. The man they called the Silver Fox displayed a natural talent for pleasing many different audiences, but his non-singing performance before one particular audience in 1975 did significant damage to the remainder of his career. On October 13th, 1975, the man voted Entertainer of the Year by Country Music Association of America 1 year earlier, stood on stage at the CMA Awards show to announce that year's winner of the association's biggest award. But a funny thing happened when he opened the envelope and saw what was written inside. Instead of merely reading the name John Denver and stepping back from the podium, Charlie Rich reached into his pocket for a cigarette lighter and set the envelope on fire on TV. I mean, this is bananas. Right there on stage. Though the display shocked the live audience in attendance, John Denver himself was present only via satellite link-up, and he offered a gracious acceptance speech with no idea what had occurred. In the aftermath of the incident, Charlie Rich was blacklisted from the CMA Awards show for the rest of his career. But what point was he trying to make exactly? It was widely assumed at the time that Rich was taking a stand on the side of country traditionalists, upset at a notable incursion of pop dabblers into country music at the time. For example, Olivia Newton-John had won Most Promising Female Vocalist Award in 1973. But Rich himself was often accused of being not country enough, so that may not have been his intent. While it made better newspaper copy to suggest that he specifically resented John Denver's win, Rich was also, by his own admission, on a combination of prescription pain medication and gin and tonics that night. Not necessarily a great combination there when you're doing the CMA Awards. His son, Charlie Rich Jr., has said, look, he used bad judgment. Last thing he wanted to do was set himself up as a judge of some other musician. So that happened on this night on October 13th, 1975. Also, here's some more for further studies for you. If you recall, back in 2010, the Chilean miners rescued after 69 days of being underground. In 1792, the cornerstone for the White House was laid in Washington, D.C. In 2021, William Shatner, Captain Kirk from the late 1960s, early 1970s Star Trek franchise, the start of that franchise, he went into space in 2021 on, I think it was Jeff Bezos' ship, or maybe it was, what's his name? Branson, the Virgin, I forget which one it was. And then finally, in 1999, the grand jury dismissed in the John Benet Ramsey murder case, which saw her parents being accused of maybe, having something to do with her murder. That's This Day in History. As we do every Friday on office hours, we talk about this day in history. So to get back to the music, and we're going to start you off at let's see, 10:38 here on a Friday with a double shot of Helmet. We'll talk about them after this, but this one's from their Betty LP. This one's called Biscuits for Smut, and it's only on Vaquero Radio. Just makes you want to get up, doesn't it? Makes you want to bang your head. That's good stuff. From Come In and Burn, that was the Rollins Band with On My Way to the Cage. Before that, Devo with Whip It, and then a double shot of Helmet. Biscuits for Smut, that was off the Betty LP, and then Birth Defect from the Aftertaste LP. That's right, Helmet is on tour. I'm going to go up and see them on Sunday at San Antonio at the Paper Tiger. That's 7 p.m. on Sunday the 15th. But that's their last U.S. date. Then they head over to Europe. Looks like they're going to be in Prague, in the Czech Republic, Berlin. They're going to be in Denmark, Stockholm, Sweden on the 12th of November, Helsinki, Finland, Hamburg, which I think is Germany, right? Hamburg, Germany. It's Deutschland. That's what the DE is. And then Cologne in Germany, Belgium, and then on the 19th of November they'll be in Eindhoven in the Netherlands. It's been a long time since I've been in the Netherlands. I went to Amsterdam back in 2008. I guess that was 2008. Yes, 2008. That was a lot of fun. Love to go back. That'd be great. But Helmet, kind of an obscure band, I guess. Not necessarily huge in the commercial world, but, a New York City band, and they've had some fits and starts. I'm anxious to see them again. So, as we do every Friday on Office Hours, I've got a great poem picked out for you. This one from the 2023 edition of Gallery Magazine, another fine publication of UTRGV student media. This is a poem called True Blue by Klaus Mireles. Nothing but a body at the edge of the sea, moonlit rotting, come morning I'll be free. Whisper of names in a salty breeze, I know your voice anywhere, bride of the tides, keep calling back to me. Adam and Abel and me, doomed men, half empty. Our first steps as people brand new, we're shore shattered, product of ocean spew. We kiss with gnashing teeth, our bodies each other's feast, 3 days and 3 nights in the belly of the beast. When day breaks and your love recedes, I'll bring high tide home, I'll leave hope in the trough. I'll show you there's no better off, only dead and joyfully departed, drowning in envy where we started. I'm a tidal wave, crashing and burning under your moonlit gaze. They'll only remember you the way I do, true blue star of my rear view scene, footage of a car crash from the passenger seat. Keep my grave nice and neat, and I'll write of the ways you've come undone. Half dead tangled in summer sheets, I've got all your secrets up my sleeves and tasted mine under your tongue. I'm burning bridges just to get you, 'cause there's no warmth from pictures of the sun. That's a poem called True Blue by Klaus Mireles. That's in the 2023 edition of Gallery Magazine. You can find them on social media along with Pulse Magazine, which is another great publication, UTRGV student media. Don't forget to tune in to KVAQ TV. They do a weekly newscast, as well as pick up a copy of the Rider newspaper, available all over campus in Edinburgh and in Brownsville. Make sure you're consuming all that UTRGV student media. That's good stuff right there, I got to tell you. Let's take it down a bit. We've only got a few minutes left. I think I got time for 2 songs. Here's another obscure one. This is Elvis Costello, but he's playing with the Brodsky Quartet. This is a string quartet. And it's called Dear Sweet Filthy World from the Juliet Letters LP, only on Vaquero Radio